Welcome to The New Chemists. We're glad you're listening. Feel free to download this podcast on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Here on The New Chemists, we discuss chemistry, which simply put is the science of change, as well as careers, community research, and COVID-19. We're happy you're tuning in. My guest today is an emergency medicine resident at Northwestern University, Tommy. Thanks for joining me this morning. It is good to hear from you. Just briefly, I'll inform my audience about you. Tommy completed his undergraduate career at the Georgia Institute of Technology and graduated summa cum laude with a Bachelor's of Science in Biomedical Engineering. Tommy went to medical school at the Medical College of Georgia in Augusta and graduated in the top 10% of his class. He's now doing an emergency medicine residency at Northwestern University in Chicago, Illinois. His interests include pre-hospital communication, ultrasound, and medical education. Please welcome Tommy. Thank you, Tommy, for joining me today. It is good to see you.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah, so, what has been some of the most beneficial advice you have received?
I definitely have. I think the best advice was given to me by. I can't remember. Were you with Andrew Warren? Was that year when we? Andrew Warren was the other PL with. Who was the other PL? Was it Rushi?
Yeah, it was Rushi.
Okay, so the year before, I had working with another. He was a senior at that time. His name's Andrew Warren. He's he's also an emergency medicine resident now over in Florida.
Okay.
I think his biggest advice that always stuck to me was just like, don't be a douche. You know.
Okay.
Like, yeah. So I don't know. I think I took it to heart because there's a lot of. I feel like in the medical field, there's a lot of personalities. Surgeons have big egos. A lot of people, think they're the best, and probably are. But just take everything with a grain of salt, and if they say something to you, don't react to it. Just kind of take it as it is. Just that's just who they are. Just play it off. I think that kind of goes a long way because I've seen a lot of my peers when like someone says something to them and they react negatively.
Okay.
Then that goes, that can go really, really bad. And it's not, it's not their fault because that's a reaction to most of the situations that they were put in. But it's just kind of how life is. Kind of just have to suck it up sometimes and just deal with it. But life goes on and it gets better.
Yeah, it gets better. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you can't take everything like personally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even though sometimes you feel led to, but you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, do you have any advice to those wanting to pursue the field you're currently studying in as an emergency medicine resident at Northwestern?
Yeah, I'd say just keep an open mind. There's, medicine is such a broad field. If emergency medicine is something you're truly passionate about, just kind of get your feet wet before making a decision, because I've seen a lot of people, they're gung-ho emergency medicine up until their third or fourth year of medical school, and then when they actually do it, they realize this is not for them. So just keep an open mind and be willing to try everything and do everything, because you'll never know what you'll enjoy in life.
Okay, yeah, dude, that's good. So, in terms of your long-standing interest in the field of science, what have those been? I'm just curious to know, what have been your long-standing interest in the field of science?
So, I guess not so much as science, but I feel like education has always been something that I've been passionate about. And just pursuing like education. So, when I was an undergraduate, I worked as a TA in medical school. I worked as an anatomy TA as well. just kind of pursuing the advancement of both medical education for students and learners, and as well as patient education. I feel like there's a large component. Kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to do emergency medicine was, you see all these patients come in, they don't know why they're taking the medicine, they don't know what hypertension is, they don't know what hyperlipidemia is, and nobody's took the time to just sit with them and talk with them, explain, this is XYZ, this is why you have to take your medicines because of XYZ. And that kind of education component goes a long way in patient care.
Yeah, I would say patient education is very important because, even when I volunteered at Winship Cancer Clinic, Midtown, Emory, when I was at Georgia Tech, one of the things, they had booklets and other resource materials there for patient education because it was so important for the cancer patients to know what they're going through and why they're going through it. So how do you maintain view of the bigger picture in your career and in your life in general? Even when you face challenges and circumstances, as you were saying, sometimes you have to deal with negative comments or criticisms or whatever the case may be. How do you maintain view of the bigger picture?
I mean, a couple things. So one is just taking each day, one day at a time, and not, if the past is in the past, you can think about it, worry about it, but just it's happened, it's done. Don't worry too much about it, just because you kind of have to keep moving forward if you make mistakes. And then kind of in the bigger picture, just appreciating why I wanted to do this, why my passion is for helping people. Just keep remembering that I'm doing it for the patients, even though the hours are long, the work kind of sucks sometimes, and the patients most of the time are not grateful for the work that you do. Just understanding that you're helping them, you're giving back to the community, and in the long term, hopefully you're making a difference.
Wow. So yeah, that's good. So you're saying the thing that keeps you going, the thing that gives you or maintains your view of the bigger picture is the idea of making a difference and your passion for the field. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So how have you been adaptive and creative in the field of science? In what way have you been adaptive or creative, even as a student?
Yeah.
I know you were at Georgia Tech, and then you were at Augusta, now you're at Northwestern. So how have you been adaptive or creative?
So, particularly at Georgia Tech, so we're both BME. So we work with work with medical devices. I had some ideas for medical devices that could help better the field of medicine. None of them really took off, but there's a lot of similar products on the market right now. I remember in 2300 or one of the classes where we designed it was like an infrared vein mapping device. And this was like 7 years ago now. And now in the market, there's actually something like that on the market right now.
Oh wow!
So,
yeah, dude.
Kind of dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, it sounds like you should have pursued that. Yeah. But how have you sought or found? Obviously, you've been successful as a student because you're now a resident at Northwestern. So, how have you sought or found the right environment for you to thrive scientifically and intellectually? How did you find it, or how are you seeking that environment?
Yeah, I think just surrounding yourself with like-minded people, I think it's very important. Just because if the people around you have similar goals and aspirations, I would think that kind of helps you personally kind of build up your own goals, because you see these other people and how amazing they are and how passionate they are about the things that they want to do, and that kind of like
invigorates.
Invigorates. That's a good word to use. Invigorates kind of your own passion, and you feel like you feel like you want to be like your peers, and you strive to better yourself to be like them.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, dude. Yeah, because I think culture and community does play a large role in your capacity to thrive and to do well and to achieve success. So, given all your responsibilities as an emergency medicine resident and your accomplishments, how do you maintain a balanced life? Or how are you striving to maintain a balanced life?
Yeah. So I guess undergraduate was a little bit easier. You felt like you had a lot more free time in college.
Yeah.
Medical school was a little bit more of an adjustment, just because people kind of related to drinking out of a fire hose.
Oh wow!
It kind of just like floods you with information. So it was a bit of a challenge, but doable. Residency is a little bit different in the fact that you're an employee, so you're getting paid to work. So you're getting paid to be there 12, 14 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of committed in that sense. But just taking, whenever you get some time, like free, like today. I had a day off, so just take time for yourself, do the things that you want to enjoy. Stay on top of your own personal hygiene. I'd say it's very important. Make sure you got clean clothes, groceries in the fridge. And then just keep doing the things that you're passionate about. If volunteering is something that you want to pursue, like you're passionate about, like don't stop. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you don't have the time for it.
Wow. Yeah, dude, that's good. Yeah, because I think basically what you're saying is prioritizing and making sure you keep critical things at the top of the list to ensure that you maintain a balanced life. So, Tommy, I think by any standard or by most standards of measurement, people can say you've been successful as a student. So, how have you been so successful? What would you attribute to your success? Or who would you attribute, or what factors have complemented you being so successful?
I'd say maybe my mom.
Okay, that's fair.
One, good genetics from my parents.
Okay.
Two, when I was growing up, they kind of pushed me to always try my best at everything, and they, if I ever failed at something, they always kept pushing me to keep trying, but never in the way that was like negative to my self-esteem. It was always like in a positive way. And then kind of like to reiterate before, just surrounding yourself with like-minded people. If you surround yourself with people who want to achieve, be high achievers, that kind of echoes onto you. And then you kind of want to be like them, and you kind of pursue, work harder and try to be the best person that you can be. Okay,
yeah, dude, that's good. So you would attribute your upbringing, your childhood upbringing, and your parents.
I'd say the nurture versus nature. Nurture is just as probably even more important than nature. So
yeah, that's true. That is true. Yes. So in your environment, how have you maintained vision and teamwork?
Yeah. So again, in any medical profession, teamwork is essential. There's so many moving parts, so many different people that have to work together, cooperate to, get the things that need to be done for the patient. And just always, for me, I think just always being positive about everything. If the nurse is kind of slowing down and not doing the things you want to get done for the patient, don't take it out on the nurse. I mean, she's probably got a million other things that she's doing. Kind of put yourself in her perspective, and just kind of be positive about it, and see if there's anything that she needs help with that you can do for her, and that kind of becomes a two-way street and promoting good teamwork.
Yeah, that's good. So keep making sure you appreciate people's perspective and understand where they're coming from. So given the pandemic and all that's transpiring, how have you approached this new challenge with the pandemic? How have you approached it?
Yeah, so sure, we're still learning everything new about COVID.
Yeah.
The data is still continuing to come out about the complications, the management. So it's a never-changing process. So we don't really know everything yet, but just keeping yourself updated, I think, is probably the best thing for anybody can do. The CDC has wonderful resources if you have any questions to look at. Just being smart, wear your mask, social distance.
Yeah,
kind of doing all the obvious things that people aren't doing, and we're seeing COVID spikes just because this has been going on so long. I think people are getting a little tired. Even I'm getting a little tired, but just doing your part and wearing your mask all the time.
Yeah, that's good. So when you have challenges in your own life, how do you approach them? How do you maintain a positive outlook? How are you able to overcome those challenges, especially in the academic realm?
Just that's a good question. I don't know. Just again, staying positive. They say like if you first don't succeed, try again. So I can remember in medical school, if I didn't understand a specific topic like cardiac physiology, which is still a little bit confusing to me, just finding all the different resources, trying to figure out like best way to learn the material. I would watch like YouTube videos, read textbooks, listen to like weird things on the internet, these weird obscure websites with like weird mnemonics and stuff like that. Just whatever would stick to my brain. So I'd say like just find what works for you, and just like keep doing that. Don't fix what ain't broke.
Yeah, that's true. So you mentioned how when you entered medical school, it almost was like you were drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
So, and I take it that's not just a medical school thing. I think that's a professional school thing as well, like graduate school as well. So how were you able to mitigate that or manage amidst that? Because you graduated from medical school, so how were you able to mitigate that?
I think most institutions have a curriculum which is easy, adaptable enough for the students to kind of get in little chunk pieces. But it's more of like the synthesizing is the higher level order thinking. I'd say just the more experience you have doing the thing that you're learning about. If I have some friends who are he's getting his PhD in electrical engineering. So just the more exposure just from talking to him, the more exposure he has to his research, the more he gets involved in these things, like kind of the more he's absorbing the information, the better it's retained. And the same thing applies to like any medical profession. Seeing patients, actually doing things in the clinic, sticks better than just reading it in a textbook, because you can remember, that patient had that weird disease, and these are the things that I did for that patient. So those are the things associated with that disease. It's easier to remember than page 300 of the textbook and said X, Y, and Z.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Taking it back a bit, why did you choose BME as a field to major in? Why did you choose BME?
So I was always interested in like medicine, but when I went to Georgia Tech, I was like, I love like building things and working with my hands. So engineering sounded okay too. So biomedical engineering kind of has both those words in it. That was kind of how I came to that decision. I really did enjoy the engineering aspects. The engineering classes were really helpful, kind of insightful for like other things, but just personally, I like talking to people more than sitting like at a desk all day.
Yeah, I agree. I like the personal aspects of science education and science. Given that you chose BME, why did you choose medicine as a field to do your doctoral studies in, as opposed to doing a PhD in BME?
Yeah, that could have been my fallback. If I didn't get into medical school. But I don't know. I just, you growing up, you go over to see your doctor, and like you feel like there's this like wealth of knowledge and information, and people trust their physicians with their lives, and rightfully so. And kind of just that ability to change lives and make a difference made me want to pursue medicine more than engineering. Not to say that engineers probably do way more than I do right now, and changing lives. Like these pacemakers patients have are crazy, save millions of lives. But in there, it's a team of engineers that designed this, and we just put them in and make sure everything looks okay.
Yeah, that's good. So as we conclude, I have one more question to ask you. What have been your most effective and impactful ideas to date? If you had to think of one idea you've had or that's been given to you or you worked along with, what has been one of your most effective and impactful ideas?
I feel like, I guess not necessarily an idea, but I feel like my most impactful role was being a PL. I feel like I got to change a lot of people's lives. You know, I'm doing this interview with you right now.
Yeah, that's true.
I've gotten some like texts and like Facebook messages from like past freshmen that I've had. Some of them are in medical school now, some of them have jobs, and just telling me, like, you know, they remember me just sitting down talking to them, kind of just talking about life. And you know, I don't know, I feel like that to me, that's been the most impactful role that I've been in so far. Yeah,
and I would agree with you, because I would say I benefited from being under your PL ship, or whatever you call it, coin the term for it, because even when I was a BME student, I was able to come back and get beneficial help or feedback, especially for 2210. I remember those days.
I remember those days too.
So yeah, man, it was good to have you on. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening. We're glad you were able to tune into this podcast. Once again, this is The New Chemist, where we discuss chemistry, which simply put is the science of change, as well as the other sciences, careers, community, research, and COVID-19. Thanks again for listening. Note, the views on this podcast represent those of my guests and I.